In the next exercise, we're going to create a data model for the data warehouse we created. A data model is basically a shell over your data warehouse, a sort of perspective to look at the data warehouse, where you can define the relationships between the tables and define the measures we're going to use. We can then use this data model, for example, to create an analysis in Power BI or Excel or any other tool that allows us to visualize these. So as you can see, I created the data model called sales, and I dragged the customer table from the data warehouse on the tables on the sales data model. And I'm going to select a couple of fields. I can rename them specifically for this data model, and I'm hiding the company as I'm going to need it later for relations, but I'm not going to visualize it just yet. I'm doing the same for item. You see me rename these number and the name field. In some visualization tools, that's convenient, as if you put up a chart, for example, and you'd had a customer number and an item number, and you'd kept them as number, you could have sales by number, right? So that's why I call them customer number and item number in the tables as well. I added the sales invoice line as well, and I've hidden all the fields on there because I'm going to use them as relations, and the amount, I'm going to create a measure out of that. So first off, create this measure out of amount. Right clicking it and create a measure. I'm making it a sum, I'm making it a decimal, and I make it a decimal number maybe, or a whole number with no digits. There we go. So this is basically a formatting. It's going to suggest to the front end tooling to visualize it in that formatting. I'm creating relations by dragging the item company to the sales invoice line company. I did the same for the customer, and then creating the second part of the relation by doing that with the item number or the customer number. To deploy and execute, I first need to create an analysis services tabular endpoint. So this is an endpoint where it's going to drop this model. And the server here, I made tabular. So I made a secondary SQL server on this one that runs tabular. Here we go. We got a data model now. Meanwhile, Power BI has opened up in the bottom. So I'm opening a Power BI, and I can do get data from analysis services. And again, I'll try to connect to the tabular instance. There we go, and we see the data model I just created. And now on the right, I got my field selection there. I can create several visuals. I could just do the selection on there, and then, for example, do it by country. There you go. So this was just a quick check, see if it worked. Let's create a little table to see if my item works as well. There you go. So I'm just looking if the relationship worked, so I can see my sales by item number. That was it for exercise 2. Let's go to exercise 3.